It's great to be here. And, you know, folks, I just want to say a little something about Reed here. You know, it's not easy to line up 9 speakers in a webinar like this. So, Reed, I give you a lot of credit, and it's a nice thing to do, and Saturday's a great day to do it. So, kudos to you for doing such a good job here this morning. Thank you so much.
Hey,
thank you for having me.
No problem at all. It's great to have you guys on.
Well, it's great to be here. And I want to also thank everybody that took the time to attend today as well. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. I don't have that much time, so I'm going to boogie here. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the questions window, and we'll get to that. But today we're going to talk about how to make your psychology work for you, not against you. This is going to be a fun webinar. We're going to talk about something you probably don't hear that much about in the trading industry, since so many people focus on entries, exits, which are important, risk control and so forth. But trading psychology is also a very, very important piece of the trading pie. Let me, for example, how many of you out there have tested a system and then gone into the markets, into the real world, and things don't quite work the same way you tested it? How many people have had that happen? I know I had that happen to me when I began. Yeah, quite a few, okay? I'm getting a lot of yeses on that. That's very normal. The statistics on that indicate that 90% of the reasons why your tested approach when doing it in a simulated environment did not create the same results in the real environment is because of psychology. The other 10% has to do with problems with trading tools not being good enough, and etc. So it is really important, all right, to hammer out this psychology, because if you don't do it, it's hard to be successful, not only in trading, but really in most all your endeavors in life. So I really want you to pay attention here, because the psychology piece of the trading pie is really important. And of course, you know, I can't do any webinar without mentioning the risk disclaimer. So there's risk in trading. Okay, there it is. I've said it. But without that risk, you know what? There's no opportunity either. So the two go hand in hand. All right, Reed already introduced me, so I thank you, Reed, for that nice introduction. I'm also going to talk about a program that we have available for helping you with psychology. So if the information you see today is something you want to explore further, I created a course called Optimum Trading Psychology, and so we'll give you a link to that at the end of the webinar, so please be sure to stay for the entire thing. This course is really a good course that's helped a lot of traders. We've gotten tremendous reviews on it, and we'll talk more about it at the end, but I wanted to at least mention it. I've also written 3 books and a 4th one on the way on the Elliott Wave, so you can check these out at Amazon, all the reviews and so forth, from risk tolerance all the way up to trading styles and so forth, and different forms of technical analysis, including Elliott Wave. All right, let's get into it. Do any of you find emotions interfering with your trading? In other words, when you're in the markets, whether you're day trading or position trading, do you get angry? Do you get stressed out? How many of you actually are feeling these emotions? And I'll tell you, even the experienced traders, all right, feel these at times. The key is do you act on those emotions? I'm getting a lot of yeses, okay, definitely. Some say I used to, all right, so that's also a good thing, because the more you do this, all right, the less you'll act on these emotions, and eventually the less power they'll have over you. All right, how many of you, especially day traders, feel really stressed out at the end of the day? You know, this is an interesting one that's coming in over the questions. It says revenge trading, okay? That is a form of anger, okay, that you have at the markets, created, of course, by emotions. All right. What is the most destructive emotion you feel while you're trading? Anybody want to share some of those? It can be anything from anger, self-sabotage, maybe hard to pull the trigger, maybe fear. All right, maybe you're in a trend, you're making money, and you get out of the trend because it reminds you of a previous trade where you didn't do that, and therefore you emotionally now just get out of the trend instead of following your trading rules. Very common issues, okay? Now, this is an important question. The reason why I sneak this in here is because it's going to tell you a lot about your belief system. How many feel trading is the perfect business? Okay, Paul's saying a great business. Merrick says no. Interesting. Anybody else? Yes, yes. All right, well, first of all, if you're saying no to this, then don't trade with real money yet, because your belief system is structured in such a way to create that no answer that you'll probably self-sabotage yourself into being correct. You have to believe in things in order for you to succeed. And if you don't believe in it yet, it's because you haven't yet seen results. So you need to stop and start finding people that are successful to change that into a yes. All right? Personally, I think trading is the perfect business. Number one reason is it's recession-proof. During these difficult last 10 years where we've had an economic decline and a recovery, if you're a trader and you knew what you were doing, you could actually continue profitable trading whether the market is turning down or going up. There is opportunity in the markets from a bullish and bearish standpoint at all times. Not all businesses are like that. I mean, if you had a retail store and you're dependent on somebody walking into your store and buying something, well, a bad economy is going to affect you. I mean, even real estate. Real estate's great when it's going up, and I've owned a lot of it, and it's great when it's going up. But I'll tell you, when it's not going up, it's a different ballgame, okay? You can have millions of dollars of real estate and still need to borrow money for lunch. All right, so real estate's kind of dependent on buying right and being lucky enough to be either holding on to it during a bullish cycle and then be able to get rents at the later time that covers, okay, your expenses even in a downturn, or you have to sell it, all right? And in a bad economy, you can't sell it, so you usually get stuck, all right? Let's get back to trading. It's equal opportunity. There's no office politics, is there? Flexible hours, no commuting, no boss except really yourself. You can control your destiny, and you can work these days pretty much from any location, can't you? The technology is tremendous today. It's not like it used to be 20 years ago. All right, so again, I think the key issue with trading over any other types of forms of business is that if you learn how to do this business, and there's lots of things to learn, you can make money regardless of the economic conditions, and that puts it in a very unique ballpark, so to speak. All right, now I want to take a look at where you are now. So we're going to take a look at a few things, and I want you to kind of think about where you sit in all these questions here. You don't have to answer these in the question, but I'm just going to read them out. Do you feel anxiety and stress when you trade? Are you working harder but still losing in the markets? Do you feel wound up at the end of the trading day? Does the market feel like a hostile place for you? Are you failing to execute your trading signals? Are you constantly searching for a trading system? Are you consistently losing rather than winning? So think about those and think about where you are and how many of those you're answering. Because your goal really is you want to obviously successfully trade. That means make a profit. You actually can work less and make more. In America, that doesn't sound like it's possible always, does it? Kind of get a job, you work harder, you work more. Kind of goes counterintuitive to what you've been taught all your life. But with trading, actually, when you get really good, you need just a handful of good setups. And the way you make more is execute those, become more efficient in finding those setups, and then just increasing your account size. In other words, a larger trade size while keeping your risk control in check. Okay, so you can work less and make more. You want to approach the markets calmly and stress-free. That's another goal. Learn to take small losers and let your winnings run or ride. Okay, very important, because fear 9 times out of 10 are cutting your winners short. All right, learn to trade calmly and confidently. You want to enjoy trading in life. Okay, we call this all the trader's mindset when you achieve this. All right, because a trader's improperly managed psychology, all right, is going to cause you more problems in trading than you even realize, especially if you're new. You may be doing things you're not even consciously aware of, and we're going to talk about that. But check out what Warren Buffett says. You have to be able to control yourself. You can't let emotions get in the way of your mind. Now, that doesn't mean, all right, you're not at times going to feel some of the emotions like stress and anger. All right, that's very human. The question is, what do you do when you feel those? And we're going to talk about that. All right, so let's talk about some of the factors affecting psychology. All right, now, significant factors affecting psychology, I've put about 3 of them in this presentation. Visual perception, all right, is what we're seeing an illusion or reality. Emotional perception, your mood, are you fearful, scared, an optimistic person? And your environment, past and present, that molds you into the person you are today. And of course there are others, and I'm sure many of you can think of many others. Let's take a look first at visual perception, the illusion or reality. Our minds are capable of more than we realize. Visual examples that I'm about to show you are going to illustrate how our minds can conceive and create illusions we may not even be aware of. Take a look at this. This is kind of a cool thing. Is reality an illusion? Whatever the case may be, our brain has a nasty habit of playing tricks on us, bending object reality into the subjective. All right, now, are all the lines curved or straight? Answer, all the lines and edges are strictly horizontal and vertically, but they appear otherwise because of the layout, all right, and the colors in this particular diagram. All right, trading psychology, here's another one. All right, are these lines horizontal, parallel, or do they slope? Same reason as before. Count the black dots. Every time you do, they kind of turn to white, don't they? Check out this, rotating snakes, this is called. This is a 2D illusion, but it actually moves. Isn't that cool? Here's one. Take a look at A and B on the grid. You see it? See the different colors? A appears to be more gray than B, doesn't it? And B is located behind the shadow of that green object. All right? When we line that up, okay, A and B, they're actually the same colors. Wild, huh? Take a look at this. Does the black line connect to the blue or the red? Okay, trading psychology. Look at this one again. Illusions. Constantly seeming like they move even though they are not. This is kind of a cool drawing from a guy by the name of Julian Beaver. I don't know if any of you have seen his work, but he goes to cities around the U.S. and he'll draw 3D illusions on sidewalks. And here is one of his completed ones with a child standing on it. And of course it looks like the child is actually on top of a building. In reality, here's Julian Beaver himself drawing the illusion, which is kind of neat. But it's interesting the way our eyes kind of trick us. All right, so our minds are really capable of more than we realize, and certainly what we see is not always the reality. And these visual examples illustrate that. But the question is, what does this have to do with trading? And this leads us to ask the question, are you seeing the markets as it really is? Take a look at this chart. All right, we'll call this chart A. All right, fairly flat in nature looking. So the question is, I'm going to show you another chart, and that's going to be chart B. You tell me which to you creates more emotion. A or B? Which is more volatility? Volatility usually creates emotion. B, right? Guess what? They're the exact same chart. The only difference is how we manipulated the X and Y axis. So, how you display charts on your particular charting platform may be affecting your emotions without you even realizing it. Okay? So this is where illusions can sometimes generate, okay, emotions. And so it's important to realize there are factors, as simple as how you're adjusting your charts that may be affecting it. There's also another study that says if your charts are slightly below your eye level, all right, that you don't do as well as traders who have their charts slightly above eye level. In other words, their monitors are a little bit higher, but not too high. It's usually off eye level. Kind of interesting. I want to move on to the emotional perception now. We looked at illusions. Let's look at emotions, all right? All right, so illusions, as we're talking about them, all right, could be also created subconsciously, all right, by beliefs. So let's take a look at that. Here's a kind of a neat exercise I want everybody to do, all right? Without thinking, no thinking, write down the animal which represents the market to you. What animal represents the market to you? And go ahead and type it in there in the questions window. Really quick. I don't want you to think about it. Whatever animal comes to your mind first. I'm seeing lions, tigers, bears. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my. All right, keep going. Rabbits, bulls, sharks, fish, sheep. All right, a whole bunch of different types of animals. All right, your answer to this will tell you much about your beliefs about the market. In fact, it's one of the first questions I ask during an initial consultation when I'm with traders, okay? Because it does tell me a lot about their mindset. If the market is threatening or tricky to you, you will most likely choose an animal that could hurt you or deceive you, all right? Maybe like a lion or a tiger, all right? But it's going to depend on your relationship with the animal. If you feel a lion is cuddly and cute, well, then the market is a safe place. But if you feel a lion is dangerous, then the market is kind of a dangerous place to you. And that's going to be you're going to have a fearful mindset. All right? The usual outcome of trading from a fearful mindset, all right, produces emotional trading. And usually fearful traders exit the market too quickly in a really good trend that they shouldn't be getting out of, or cannot pull the trigger at the right time and lose money. And the reason for that is if you're in a perfectly good trend and you're starting to feel anxious and you want to get out and take that quick profit, 9 times out of 10, it's probably because you're thinking about a previous trade where you didn't get out and the market reversed and took all your money or all your profit. So now you're not going to let that happen again. So you get out of the trend based off fear that the market's going to reverse. Of course, as soon as you get out this time, what's going to happen? The market's going to keep going up. So then the next time you trade, you're not going to get out, and you stay in, and the market does reverse. So you get bounced around like a ping pong ball instead of following your trading rules, all right, whatever they may be. Because I'm assuming if you're following trading rules, you tested them, so they should work over time more often than not. Don't trade your last trade. Trade your trading rules. And if you find yourself not, chances are fear is creeping into your mind, causing you to emotionally trade. Likewise, if you picked in this example, the market is a fun and safe place to you, then you will most likely choose an animal that is non-threatening, okay, favorite pet, etc. All right, again, however, there's extremes in everything. If you take this to the extreme, then this could also, if you think the market is a totally safe place, this will lead to a lackadaisical and unstructured trading approach, leading to poor risk control and eventual loss. All right, so you kind of want to maintain a balance there. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about beliefs and thoughts. And I know I'm moving quick, but I'm only moving quick here because I'm limited in time to speak this morning, and I got a lot of material to get through, so hang in there with me. All right, what is the difference in relationship between beliefs, thoughts, attitudes, and behaviors? Thoughts and ideas, generally speaking, thoughts, all right, are going through our mind all the time, all right? But the ones that usually have the meaning for us are the ones we energize. All right, we think human beings are capable of thinking, millions of thoughts a day. Some of them just come in our mind and leave. Others come in our mind and stay. And the ones that usually stay are there because we've energized them in some way, form, or shape, usually by an emotion, all right? Beliefs is an energized thought that you make real or accept as true, okay? Attitudes, all right? Beliefs can create attitudes and can influence our action and reactions. Behavior is the result of all this, all right, set into action. Emotions that are attached to our thoughts ultimately create our behavior, all right? So that's really important, all right? So I think one of the things to take away from is what thoughts and experiences are we energizing to create our belief system? All right, as a trader, how much emotions do you attach to losing? All right, when you have a loss, do you energize it? When you have a win, okay, do you energize that? And which one do you energize more? Most traders will energize the loss more. And that's why they're in a fearful mindset more. Because usually what happens when you win, all right, you're saying, yeah, I should win. I'm working hard. I'm doing this. Good, I won. And you take the win. When you lose, you're usually upset and you get angry. All right? That losing trade then becomes energized. The loss becomes energized and becomes a more prominent thought affecting your belief. Like trading the last trade that ended at a loss, okay? That type of thing. All right? Your core beliefs about yourself. Do you perceive yourself as a winner or a loser? These are also important. What's your feelings about money? Is it good or bad? About trading, is it possible to be successful? About success, do you deserve it? Because believe it or not, if you don't feel good about money or you don't feel you deserve success, guess what? You're starting behind the 8 ball. And you're going to have a hard time being successful in trading and probably being successful in most any endeavor you're doing. And it will come out in different ways in the form of sabotage. All right? Now, back to beliefs and thoughts for a minute. Let's say your belief system says that money, for example, is the root of all evil. All right? The first thing, okay, is you want to identify and face the belief. So when you leave my presentation today, I want you to sit down in a room alone, all right, and go over your different beliefs that you have about trading and life and so forth. And take a look at them real hard and see which ones are kind of detrimental and which ones are good. And the ones that are detrimental, how can you change those is the next question. All right? So the first thing is you want to identify and face that detrimental belief or any belief and decide if it's empowering or disempowering. All right? If you feel it's disempowering or detrimental, then you must change it. You can do this by understanding where you got this belief about money being evil in this example. You have to go back and think about that. Then you have to come up with some new thoughts about money that don't support the fact that you currently feel money is the root of all evil. And then you need to think of situations on how money is used for good. For example, maybe with a portion of your trading profits, think of it this way. When you're a profitable trader, you're taking care of your family. That's good. All right? You can send your kids to school, get more education. That's good. All right? Any left over, if you want to help family members, that's good. Or you can even give to your favorite charity. Okay? That really shows right there that money can be good, not bad. And some people, believe it or not, feel that people that have money are bad people. And that's not true, but they got that belief somewhere. You got to change it, okay? So you want to replace the old belief with a new belief created by how, in this example, money is good. And this is just an example. You can use the same cookie cutter for any belief you're about to change. So you're, in fact, collapsing the old belief and replacing it with a new one. The new belief may be, in this example, money can do wondrous things in the world. All right? So you need to think of ways that support the new belief. Now you're ready to move on in to creating what you desire. Remember, that which you can conceive and believe you can achieve. All right? But you have to be in the right mindset. You have to have your beliefs in coordination. Your environment, past or present, can certainly affect your current state of mind. All right? Your environment will impact your belief system. Everybody grows up in a different format, a different had different parents, a different place they grew up, and so forth, different set of situations, all right? And it's unique to everybody, okay? Think currently, though, about your present situation and how that influences your beliefs now, all right? Result, you have a unique maze. So take a look at your past, come to grips with it, all right? If you've got any beliefs, okay, that you had that your past gave you, maybe your parents told you that you had to have a 9-to-5 job in order to be an adult. That is it. So therefore, you don't really feel like you have a real job maybe if you have that belief. You have to change that, okay? You have to change that. All right, is the glass half full or half empty? Is this a visual illusion or a belief illusion? Somebody answer me out there. Okay, anybody? Empty, both, half full, okay, half full. All right, obviously you've seen this before. If it's half full, that generally represents an optimistic person. Half empty does not, okay? Actually, the glass is filled exactly halfway, so depending on how you answer that. All right, so how do we use all this information, okay, to create the trader's mindset, okay? Well, I think you have to understand some of the phases, okay, of how they can impact your reality. In other words, when you look at a chart, we call that the source or actual message. Your perception is then your source, what you're looking at, plus your beliefs, okay? Then you interpret it, process it, and you come out with a new perceived unique message. This is why traders see the same market differently and why we ultimately trade our own belief systems. I can show traders a bullish chart, and some will see it as bullish, some will see bullish opportunities, and some will see bearish opportunities. All right, believe it or not, okay? The science of quantum physics talks about consciousness in terms of perceived reality, reality, time exists, and we move in time, all right? That's one of the big concepts of consciousness in the science of quantum physics. Price velocity is the movement of price through time, represents consciousness of all traders. So price represents movements, of mass consciousness generated by high energized thoughts become beliefs, and this is why markets can be irrational at times. So you can get markets that either continue to go up higher. I mean, think back of the late 1990s. The dot-com companies were not making any money, but dot-com was cool. I mean, all a company would have to do back then is come out with a website, and boom, the stock would go up because of the irrational belief, mass consciousness belief, that was the latest and greatest thing, okay? In terms of valuations or reality, all right, prices were getting very, very high and overextended at that point. All right, so mass beliefs do influence prices, all right? And since really, if you think about it, if this can happen on a mass scale, we also know that this can happen on a personal level. So your beliefs can influence your trading results as well. And this is what really makes traders losers or winners, ultimately. So stop worrying about your past, okay? I'm going to give you some tidbits here, and start trading and living in the present moment. And in order for you to do this successfully, you are going to have to come to grips with your past and change beliefs that you need to be changed, okay? You need to see things for what they are. Don't run from your fear, your past, or your present. Another big thing is if you don't keep good, accurate trading records, chances are you don't want to. And there's a reason you don't want to, because you don't want to see the results. That's a form of denial, okay? All right, in order to become a master trader, you must face reality and accept it. Find out who you are, all right? Let me ask you a question. Which is more powerful, you think, fear or greed? Fear or greed? Greed, okay? Fear. I'm just reading the responses as they come over the questions. Fear. Fear, fear, fear. Greed. Greed. All right, Buffett, okay, says this: there's no comparison between fear and greed. Fear is instant, pervasive, and intense. Greed is slower. Fear hits. My feeling on this is that basically fear has a component of greed in it. All right, if you are missing a trend, aren't you also fearful you're going to lose more profits? So I think they kind of go hand in hand. But they're both emotions, aren't they? So you need to be able to spot these emotions when they happen in the markets and also when you're feeling them as well. So I think they are equal in intensity, actually. You need to learn to stop your fear now. All right, so if you're having fear, all right, see if there are any beliefs that are adding to that and change it. All right, but a good way to create a void for fear not to take hold is for traders to practice, test their systems so their confidence level creates a belief that if they follow their trading rules, they will eventually be consistently profitable. All these people here, the samurai warrior, the combat fighter pilots, the race car drivers, and traders, okay, they all practice or should be practicing a lot. All right, samurai warriors do nothing but practice all the time. Same thing with fighter pilots, all right, because it builds that confidence and increases your belief. Okay, visual skills. See yourself succeeding, all right? Visualize some things that you want in your life. Goes a long way to creating and changing your belief system. All right, because if you don't believe it, that's probably why you fail at this point. You need to have a balance between fear and greed. Okay, you will succeed. Okay, learn to trade the markets with the belief. Okay, create the belief you will succeed and in full awareness without fear, anxiety, or despair. This will allow a balance that manifests itself into a positive reality. So what you need to realize is in the markets, okay, you can lose money and you can make money. There's risk, all right? We protect our downside with risk control. So if you're using risk control, that really should eliminate your fear of losing money in the market, especially also if you're following a trading approach. So protect yourself, all right, yet at the same time, once that's taken care of, focus on why you're taking the trade and look for the opportunities out there, all right? This is kind of a neat little saying. Your thoughts shape your beliefs in turn shape your thoughts. Your beliefs shape your emotions, such as fear and greed. Emotions such as fear and greed are relative based on your unique beliefs. Fear and greed drive markets and life itself. Ultimately, you live your beliefs, which create your reality. Trading is nothing more than a vehicle you have chosen to create your reality by trading your beliefs. So choose and protect your thoughts carefully, that eventually, and be careful which ones you energize. All right? You look into the abyss, the question is, what do you see? The answer will be different for each one of us. There lies our results and our realities, and this has nothing to do with intellect. All right, I've seen a lot of successful traders without MBAs, and I've seen a lot of MBAs and lawyers that can't trade. All right, so it has nothing to do with intellect after a certain point. You have to have enough intellect in order to understand the principles obviously involved in trading. But once you get past that in your trading rules, it's all emotions. All right, so I'm getting towards the end here. I want to wrap this up because I'm almost done. This is your mind. Thus, your mind is creating illusions you may not be aware of. Illusions may be visual or may be created subconsciously by emotions created by beliefs. All right? Are your emotions, yours, such as fear, distorting what is real and how you interpret and act in the markets? How your mind sees and interprets the markets may be affecting your trading without you even being aware of it. All right, do you think it's important to learn skills to control your emotions and identify distorted illusions before they sabotage your trading? You bet, okay? All right, so what I want to do, this is kind of a neat thing. Fear is relative to each one of us because it is or can be an illusion, false evidence appearing real. All right? Sometimes fear is warranted, isn't it? But when it's created by something that's not real, then it's not. In order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear for failure. You are a fear. You are far too smart to be the only thing standing in your way, which is really what we're talking about here, isn't it, in psychology? Okay? It's really us. And the more you really get into the markets and start trading, it's really sometimes really a battle against ourselves more than anything else. All right. Any questions, feel free to ask. I want to talk about the next step here. If what I've talked about hit a nerve or interests you and you want to learn more about how to really change your belief system, all right, the Optimum Trading Psychology course that I developed is phenomenal, all right? I can't tell you the good response that we've gotten from all the people that have taken it. It's been out for quite some time, and it is just helped so many people. And so if you're interested in that, I'm going to pop a link up here, okay? And you can order that. Jean's created a special. I think she's giving 30% off on it until Friday night. But it will take you to the next level. And believe me, if you want to be successful in trading, you have to have the psychology part of the trading pie mastered. Okay, listen, I want to thank you all so much for having me, okay? One thing somebody's asking me about is what is the concept of the empty mind? Isn't that interesting? Well, think of the samurai warrior, all right? That's when a samurai warrior fights, he is said to have an empty mind, which means he doesn't fear anything. He doesn't think about the outcome. He is just operating in the present moment, like we as traders should do. He's totally focused on the reality surrounding himself. And that's what you want to do. He has an empty mind. As soon as his mind has fear creep into it or anticipates the outcome of a battle, or you would start to anticipate the outcome of a trade, you're not living in the present moment. Okay, so that's what it means. All right, this course will also talk to you about how to get rid of bad habits. All right, that's another big issue people have. Just simply changing habits can be a big thing. So think about this. I think it's an inexpensive course. Okay, it's not a lot of money. All right, especially with the 30% off. So I think you owe it to yourself to get this part of the overall trading pie solved once and for all. I want to thank you very much tonight. Reed, thank you so much for having me. I'm going to turn it back over to you because I know you have other speakers.